This is the one and only SwitchCraft. We're here. Hello.
Hello.
Little rocky intro there at the start. Callie says, as we're going live, do you have everything you need? I went, yeah. And then I realized, no, I don't have the Google Drive doc that I wrote today for this game up. Hello, everybody. Welcome to, this is a big deal. Do not adjust your TV sets. This is SwitchCraft. And it is coming to you live and in person from the Keniston compound for the first time ever. We are live streaming this show, so please forgive any speed bumps we may have. We are back. It has only been a year and a half.
We're going to figure it out. Already had a speed bump. Can't speak.
Sorry.
I'm
Zach. You can speak. We can all speak.
I'm Callie.
Yeah, we're so happy to be with you.
So Jazz. Whoa.
Callie, tell him a little bit about.
He needed to come in and say hi.
Tell the people he did. Casper came in to say hi. Tell the people a little bit about what we're doing today, what we're talking about, where we've been.
Awesome. Well, okay, so like you said, we are SwitchCraft. This is our one of our many creative projects. This is a multimedia project. Yeah. Basically, where we kind of put our thoughts and our energy and our the creative will to play video games. This is where we talk about video games basically that we're playing. Yeah. In layman terms, but ultimately it's a place for us to for me personally, playing games is not only is it enjoyable, but it is an artistic and a cathartic experience. And I feel like with SwitchCraft we had a big old come to Gaia moment the other day where we were we need to recommit to ourselves and to just being creators and just being people who are trying to, I don't know, just have some sense of self in a project. Anyway, and we're well, what do we want to do right now? And I'm I just been wanting to play my fun games and talk about the fun games I'm playing and try to survive in this crazy late stage capitalist apocalypse we're going through. Not apocalypse. I say that because it's
a soft apocalypse.
It's apocalypse light. It's the Episcopalians of the church, in their Catholic light. Yeah, sorry. Well said. Yeah, life has been coming at us fast and loose here this past year and a half. The last time you saw us, we were an audio-only podcast, and we were talking about the Outer Worlds. Yes. It was the first time we ever kind of broke the rule that we founded SwitchCraft on and the idea that we founded the show on, which was playing through my large Switch library. Times have changed a little bit. They sure have.
The rules are out the window. This is the game where everything's made up and the points don't matter. Step aside, Drew Carey. Because we are just playing whatever now. And the last year of our lives has been marred with hardship and controversy, as every other year of your life is.
Yes, dude. But I feel like I speak for a greater populace when I say that things are just harder right now in general. Yeah. It's harder to go about, quote, day-to-day life.
That's true.
It's harder to regulate your nervous system through it. Yeah. And if you are somebody who has a spicy nervous system, such as us, as we, it just requires a lot more capacity to literally just function day to day. And we just had to focus on that for a bit. But a big part of that was also finding the tools to do that. And for me personally, something that does help me is the very game that we're going to talk about today, which is Fallout 76.
That's right. It's
time. I came back around. Did you see me go?
Yeah, you did. We started on this ambitious journey of I'm showing Callie all of the Fallout games. And that process started with Fallout 3. We played through New Vegas. We played through Fallout 4.
Yes.
We made our way to Fallout 76 with the plan of we are going to make an episode on each game. And then we'll keep playing other games. And we'll bring the podcast back. We had no concrete plans at the time.
It was a year and a half ago that we were we will be having a Fallout 3 episode coming out soon. And it was
we just kept playing Fallout 76.
We just didn't stop.
We just didn't stop playing it. And we still haven't stopped playing it. As you're about to see on the YouTube channel, if you're following this Twitch account, we've been streaming a lot of that game.
Right now.
Thank you for joining us on that, by the way.
Yes. And there's something interesting right now, going back to this project and what the intention we're trying to put into it. We just had this moment. I was what are we wanting to spend our time doing? And a big part of that is playing this game because it is not only is the game just fun to play. There's so many aspects to it that help. We've built it into our routine of just part of what we do.
It's true.
It's one of the escapisms, right? It's one of the pieces of art that we take in to help us cathartically move through the fucking chaos that is living as a human right now. And I personally think the Fallout series does a very good job kind of obviously pointing out like a huge thing that's happening in our reality. It like the dystopian aspect of it is like very obvious, but they do it in a way that's like clever enough that which we'll get into later, I think kind of has some people fooled. But
yeah, I think there's a lot to this franchise. There's a lot to this game. Has lived more lifetimes than a lot of people have gotten to live. At a time when so many games just get the rug pulled out from under them and get the plug pulled when they're not successful. Fallout 76 was an extremely unsuccessful game when it launched, to the point where you could get it at a discount bin for the PS4 and Xbox copies at GameStop for $5 a month after it came out. This game was dead, effectively.
Yeah.
I have a long write-up today about this game. I figure if we're coming back, we might as well come back swinging. So I'm going to just get into this. I'm going to read...
Swanging.
I'm going to read this bit that I wrote earlier about this game.
I think it's worth...
We're really getting into Bethesda and kind of their culture a little bit and enjoy. This is Fallout 76.
Let's go, babe.
Since officially acquiring the IP from Interplay in 2007, current Fallout developer Bethesda has steadily increased the hype and popularity of what has arguably become their flagship series. Fallout 3 set the standard for open-world apocalyptic mayhem in 2008, and just 2 years later, in 2010, Bethesda would enlist Obsidian Entertainment to create what would become Fallout New Vegas, only building on the foundation Bethesda had laid out. In 2015, Fallout 4 would shatter sales records for the company and franchise alike, with 12 million copies being moved within the first 24 hours alone, which is crazy, by the way.
That's a lot of copies of something.
While Fallout 4 was deemed a critical and crowd success, keen eyes were noticing a seemingly changing tide within Bethesda and the games industry overall. Hardcore fans of the RPG series noticed less depth to each passing release, noting, and fairly so, that the series had become a first-person shooter first and foremost over the years. The decades since the release of Fallout 4 have not been particularly kind to the Fallout video game franchise, even as the IP reaches new heights in the pop culture zeitgeist. It's an interesting divide, and one that only grew deeper in 2018 when Bethesda stunned the gaming community by taking Fallout online with the release of the game we are talking about today, Fallout 76. Now, in true Bethesda fashion, the release of the game was marred with heavy controversy. It was filled with bugs, glitches, and unstable servers, and even when the servers were online, many fans were left wanting more. The world was barren, with no human NPCs at release, and a story that relied heavily on audio recordings and terminal entries to make progress. As a beta player, it was wild. It was a different game. It was wild.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
It wasn't all bad, though. Many fans appreciated... I lost my spot for a minute there. Many fans... appreciated the world Bethesda crafted, considering it among the best open-world maps the company had made to date. Over time, combat kinks were smoothed out and the experience remains fun from moment to moment. Free content updates over time have also added NPCs, full quest lines, weapons, events, explorable areas, and so much more. Doesn't even begin to describe legendaries, raids, expeditions, so much.
We're going to get into it.
Fallout 76 is set in the early 2100s, roughly 25 years after the United States and much of the world was decimated in complete nuclear annihilation, and about 100 years before any other Fallout game to date. We find ourselves lucky enough to be a vault dweller, one residing in West Virginia's Vault 76. Thought to contain the best hope for mankind's future, Vault Tech publicly stated that the vault would be the starting point for the rebuilding of humanity. In the time since the vault was unsealed, the Overseer reveals that the true plan was twofold, including the secondary task of securing what remains of the nuclear arsenal in the area, which proves to be quite a big arsenal. The player finds themselves not only recruited into these tasks, but it isn't long until the local politics, settlers, and area mysteries interweave themselves into their journey as well. Is this game truly a lost cause, or has the work Bethesda developers poured into the game made it a modern success story? Find out as we finally dive into Fallout 76.
Whoop whoop.
That was a mouthful. Thank you
job.
For bearing with
Congratulations. You did a really good job. Yeah, dude. Because I have mad respect. Okay. Something that I want to put on the table is you have experience playing this game from the
Yes,
origins.
I've been playing this game off and on since day one.
Yes. So I want to say, like, you played it, so you have known many iterations of Fallout 76. I have known the iteration that I've been playing for the last year and a half. I'm very proud of myself. That's like a commitment to a game. Like, I found a game that I'm like, this is a good game.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about why it scratches a certain itch. But so I want to lay that out there. Like, I do not really know this. You have described what it was like to me many times. Like,
this is an interesting game to break down in that way, like you said, because this was a different game at launch. Yeah. There were no NPCs in the game, like I said in that write-up. It was just the side quest about following the Overseer's path.
Yeah.
Except you never even got to see the Overseer. Her house wasn't in the game like it is now.
What?
You never got to meet any other human.
You never met her?
You never met any other human. There was no humans except player characters in the game, no NPCs.
That's
so
for the way you describe it, like, because it's already barren enough because it's a wasteland, like, now. But the way that you talk about the, like, how it was makes me feel so deeply uncomfortable. It's like it triggers that fear of, like, being in open water. Like with nothing around you, but just like the idea of like it's so barren.
It was really barren, and the players,
it's that liminal space that I get like.
The player base was still kind of figuring out where their footing was, how they were going to act and treat each other. It took a while.
Also, because it's an online game.
It took a while for like the community to kind of find their footing in that way too. So the early days were so eerie in where just kind of it was such a different game, and it was so void of life to a point where it felt like. Eerie almost, and not in like a good pleasant Fallout way, but like this game shouldn't function this way kind of way. Here's a cat.
Sorry, the cats are always gonna the cats are just here, so they're here and we just gotta accept it.
That being said, this game has gone over many iterations, starting with the Wastelanders update in 2018, which was the first major content expansion. That added the main story as you know it, where you leave the vault, you're encouraged to go, and we'll get into it in story here in a minute, you're encouraged to go to visit the Wayward and then follow the Overseer's path via those notes.
And is that what, like... So is that when the Overseer came into the picture?
So the Overseer wasn't added as an NPC yet until Wastelanders, and because you mingle with the Overseer a little bit in the main quest now, but the main quest is really more focused on the story between Duchess and the Wayward, and her getting you started on this like Crane's treasure hunting journey.
Okay, so the treasure hunting,
and that takes you into this like faction war between the Settlers Foundation and the Raiders, and the scorched plague that's kind of spreading between them, and how you're going to deal with that. So the story really kind of transitioned in a way. The finding the nukes kind of became a secondary quest to the game, to the point where we haven't even on this save file launched any of them. We never played that quest. We beat the main story and kind of just started playing some of the other side quests.
I have to say, this game, it's because, like, okay, should we kind of, like, we can bleed into, like, talking story?
Let's kind of bleed in. Our first category, which we'll end up rating out of 5 at the end of this, is story. I have a lot of thoughts about the story or lack thereof in this game.
I was going to say, because, okay, moving into this is not a game that I am necessarily playing for the story first. Like, this is not a story first game for me by any means, because... especially compared to the other Fallout games, the story is not
that prevalent. It's not first and
not
foremost.
as prevalent by any means.
Not at all.
Especially coming from a game like New Vegas, where you could learn every fucking little detail that you want to learn and know in that game.
The thing about New Vegas that I find so endearing is like the way all the factions and all the groups in that game are kind of intermingled and interwoven with each other.
Yeah.
On such a base level where like there's so much politics going behind this, and like 3/4 of the politics in this game is going to stop the Legion, who you could just side with also, and just burn the whole fucking thing down if you want.
That's something I do really like about the Fallout games, is you really get to decide how you want to show up morally in this world.
We got to Fallout 76, and it has to be said, from a story perspective, it's not a Fallout game. It's not a true Fallout game. Your impact on the world is very little. Your impact is more about this game. I find to be much more about your impact and your stories on a personal level.
Yes,
and
it's very personal.
The way you fit into Appalachia, not the way you change it, not the way you necessarily fix it, but it's the way you fix yourself in Appalachia.
What it is it's like more of like a like a life sim.
Yeah.
In a way where it's like I am creating a character. Ultimately, I'm creating myself, and I'm like, how would I, Callie, want to live in the wasteland?
Yeah.
Like, what would my drag in the wasteland be? Every day when we log on, I'm like, what's my outfit? What's my drag today? Because I'm like, what kind of vibe am I bringing? And I mean, there is like, you know, you can get better standing with like the Raiders or with the Settlers or like Foundation and all that jazz by like doing quests and stuff for them, but that's not the most important thing.
No, and it does not affect anything that happens in the story nearly as much. Your impact on Appalachia is doing the same. You can't choose to really not fix the Scorched Plague. You can't choose to really not do the vault heist.
Nah, it's more about you just learning information about the world that you're living in. It's more like, it's like a big museum walk around Like the story feels like just like we're gonna walk you through this museum story.
So I guess to like walk, I guess everyone through it a little bit more. So the game opens. You're in the vault. You're in Vault 76.
Is it worth explaining like what happens?
I'm just gonna kind of explain
to
the
like
first...
with the like in the Fallout world.
Yeah,
we've not
probably.
like talked about Fallout.
So in the Fallout world, and if we're talking the Fallout lore, this whole world is predicated on the use of nuclear energy as the main energy source of doing everything in the country, for good and for bad, and that kind of takes over with the world, and there's a lot of really there's a lot of corporate speak, and the corporations have a big sway in controlling the nuclear arsenals, and there's so much lore I don't even know to get into that some of these YouTubers and people out there could get into.
The metaphor for fascism is like it's steeped in it, you know, in a really big way. But I really like it from like a narrative standpoint, the Fallout universe, because it feels the closest, like just like where it's the dystopian future that we are always on the brink of potentially actually causing. And because of it, I find it very it's cathartic in that way, because like I would be lying if I said that I didn't have legitimate fears about like the concept of nuclear war, because that is the next step of war. And we're not exactly living in a very calm geopolitical climate.
No.
So like this kind of allows me to put those fears and that like energy into something where I'm like, okay, you could kind of live out, well, what would I fucking do if that happened? And the Fallout world like is just like, it's futuristic enough to not feel like it's not like historical dystopian.
It is interesting to me that one of the main story plots in this game now is like you distributing a vaccine to like these two communities.
Interesting.
You know? And it's like we gotta fix what we started.
Yeah, dude. And it's interesting too, because basically the nuclear war happens, and then there's this big company, Vault-Tec. They built all these vaults that basically the people who had the money to reserve a spot in the vaults got to go.
And a lot of them were unknowingly signing up to do science experiments.
Also, that a lot of it, like, so it goes a lot, like, it goes all the way to the top, and it gets like political.
You know, and if you're speaking really deep lore wise, you know, Vault-Tec was heavily invested in a lot of nuclear technology as well. And there's rumors that they started aggressively targeting vault dwellers to come live in the vaults the days before, and even the day of the nukes falling.
Yeah, because
in a way that they must have known. They must have known. In the opening of Fallout 4, there's that great scene where the vault guy comes to your door, and he's like, in the extremely unlikely scenario,
wink, wink,
nuclear annihilation.
Yeah, dude.
Would you like to have your place in a vault? So we are a vault dweller now in 76, and not only are we a vault dweller, this is a special vault we're in. Vault 76 is the vault for like the scientists, the people of influence, the smart people, the artists,
elitist. You know what I mean?
The bourgeois of society gets to go in this vault, and what Vault-Tec told people was, this vault is going to rebuild society, especially in the Appalachian Mountains and surrounding area. We're going to help rebuild as we go. What actually kind of ended up happening was we were secretly going to be cast to receive the nuclear arsenal, which is really interesting because that is not the story of the game now. As a post-Wastelanders player, the nuclear arsenal is there. People are constantly launching nukes in the game, which is very funny because we're supposed to be securing it.
Yeah. But that's also part of the meta game.
Winning the game is launching a nuke.
But it's interesting because like utilizing nukes in this game, like it's
part of the end game. That's how the end game starts.
Well, also,
used to, essentially.
Like there are different ways, like as we'll talk about, like you launch a nuke in different parts of the map to get different bosses, and so like you're getting different achievements. So you use that story like aspect, but like to gain achievements. It's an interesting it's an interesting version.
Since this is an MMO, you know, the story goes so many places. There's so many quest lines. They're all affecting the way Appalachia exists and breathes. So it's hard to kind of talk about the story from a narrative perspective on the whole, but you know, it exists to push your exploration forward, essentially.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about the story,
if you were expecting a Fallout New Vegas or even Fallout 4 level of depth to the story, this game is much closer to Fallout 4 now in terms of depth. Yeah. I would say it's neck and neck as far as narrative depth.
Yeah.
With Fallout 76 and Fallout 4. If you're expecting a Fallout 3 or New Vegas level of story, You're just going to be disappointed. You're going in to be disappointed. An MMO where the world is living and breathing, you are never going to be able to change on a mass scale as an individual player because that would just open up so many inconsistencies with the world's lore. If I decided to kill Duchess and rob the Wayward of everything they had, no other player, in theory, would ever be able to speak to the Duchess again.
Right.
So there are certain...
Because it's a live
There
platform.
are certain liberties that Bethesda just had to take when making this game.
Well,
I don't agree with all of them.
Well, can I tell you what it is? The difference is it's because they were making a game they're making a live online
Yes, they're making
game.
a live service.
And if you are making a live service, that requires a different skill set and a different approach than making a narrative game, like a through-line game.
It's a
very
different style
different
of game.
Because one is taken in your own time and the other is beholden to a timeline.
Yeah,
other people's time.
And I understand for people, and I've said this on the record time and time again, I understand if you are somebody who cannot jive with this game because the story is so takes such a back seat to the exploration and the experience. Because to me, there are very much two Fallouts in my mind. There's left brain Fallout, which is like the Fallout 76 of it, where you're creating and you're just like exploring the world and you're making things and you're making connections and you're meeting NPCs.
You're deciding how you want to live.
Fallout, which is like a geopolitical, like Aaron Sorkin script. It's like West Wing, and I love that.
Yeah, dude.
I love that about this franchise, and this game just isn't that, and that's fine.
And can I tell you, coming back to the story.
Yeah.
Because
and we'll put a bow on it. We're not going to talk too much about the story.
No, because there's not a ton to talk about in that way. Because there are other points of this game that I'm looking forward to getting to. But when it comes to story, like the thing about the Fallout series is the story is so realized and epic. One of the reasons I like Fallout 76 is because it lets me live in the world without really having to sit in the huge stakes of it, which the other games make you sit in the big stakes of it, which can be great. But as somebody who has a very spicy nervous system, it honestly can just be a lot to be in high stakes all the time.
This game is very much, do this thing for me. If something happens, then you just move on.
Here's some cat, and here's
the
money.
next thing you do. You go on, you do your next thing.
Here's a pretty reward
and I think
gun.
part of that is, which we've not even really mentioned, this game takes place only 25 years roughly now.
After the bombs
because each content
drop.
expansion is takes further on in the chronology. So we're started the game like 2102 or whatever, and now we're in whatever year.
Isn't it like 2077 or something?
2077 is when the bombs fell.
Oh.
And then
that was the correct year for something.
Yes, it was. But this game is so interesting in that way because the storytelling, this is an RPG. It's not an RPG in the sense of you changing this landscape and you deciding what happens to these tribes and these people. This game is an RPG.
It's not a choose your own ending book kind of vibe.
This game is an RPG in the sense of you start by eating dog food out of a can, and then you end up eating dog food out of a can, but you've now built yourself an entire camp, and the dog food is made for you.
Yeah, and the dog food's important for you getting XP.
Yes. Your role-playing is much more moment to moment, step to step.
It truly is
how you live in the wasteland. That's where the role-playing comes in.
And that's when it comes into the life sim of it.
Yeah.
And that's when it comes into more... This is when I'll start weaving in the community and the aspect of playing live online and what that means.
It's a different experience.
So it's a different experience.
Should we transition to gameplay now?
Well, let's give we could give the story.
I'm going to say 2.5 out of 5.
I was going to say that too.
It's a blank slate for better or worse. I understand and I empathize with the Fallout fans who hate it and who it turns them away. But
totally.
Again, I'm just going left brain Fallout with this game. And
if anything, the Fallout world. I like the Fallout world enough to be interested in the story.
I like these Bethesda worlds, and that's going to lead us to gameplay, because this is a Fallout game. There are a few concessions you have to keep in mind. VATS does not work the way you might expect VATS to work with this being an online game.
Yeah, I like it.
The two things that you might have done to save yourself in a tricky situation, which are bring up your Pip-Boy to stop the game, and save scum, quick save before doing something risky, you no longer have. Now, with the game having lower stakes overall...
you don't have to rely on it as much.
Yeah.
At first, when you told me that at first, I was like, fuck! Because I was the last game we played was Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Right? And... Whoa, sorry.
Motorcycle I
got hella fucking distracted by the motorcycle. But because of it, I was like, fuck, this is going to be hard. Yeah. The difficulty level of combat scenarios.
This game scales so well with its difficulty.
Yes, it's much
first and foremost.
Better for me.
I think there are 3 core things about the gameplay of Fallout 76 that keep me coming back to it.
What
Number
are they?
one is the environmental storytelling, the world existing, like you said earlier, in the Fallout world. This is a world that I enjoy existing in.
Yeah.
It's just darkly humorous enough and just kind of like devastating enough to keep you looking.
Dude. It's camp.
Is a very
it's campy enough for me, man.
Very, now that we've had all these updates, it's a very living world. It feels like a very lived in place.
Yes.
I think this is one of their best map designs. I was being earnest when I said that I thought this was maybe some fans. I'm some fans. I think this is one of their best map designs, open world map designs ever.
Yeah.
I think it's up there with Skyrim. I think it's up there with
It's fun
Fallout
as hell.
4. Their map design just keeps kind of getting better.
Yeah, dude. And there's something that I noticed. It was the other day. I was walking through Burning Springs, which is like their newest edition, where the ghoul is. Oh man, we'll get into that. We'll get into that fucking shit. But I just came across a restorator like threatening a settler.
Yeah.
Like a whole scene happened, and like I tried to talk to them, and like, this individual is busy, and I was like, you're right, they are in a scene.
Yeah.
And then like the restorator killed the settler.
Yeah. And then I came across the same.
And you came across the
encounter,
body.
I saved.
Oh, you saved. That's right.
I saved the person. I shot the restorator and saved the person who was trapped by them.
But I just had that moment of like,
that's a classic.
Because sometimes
encounter
you'll just
right
come
there.
across like bodies, and I'll be like, there was a world where that scene happened, and I just wasn't here yet, but it was triggered, and I was in the vicinity, and instead of coming across them having a conversation, they just would have been dead.
Yeah.
And that. I enjoy that as like, as somebody who is taking in part of a story, it makes it feel lived in, right? It breathes life into it.
Well, I think there's also something worth noting too, which we talked about again. This game does take place so soon that after the bombs fell, that like the world is affected in a slightly different way than it would have been in Fallout 4 or Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
And I don't think they pushed this aspect far enough, in my opinion. This is one aspect of this.
Because sometimes I'm like, it's only been 25 years.
Yeah, the environment in this game.
I'm like, it's really pretty here.
It does kind of seem like it's a 200 years later situation because things are kind of flourishing and things are looking good.
But I'm also not going to pretend that I have any understanding of what it would actually be like to live.
You also just like come across a lot more fresh dead bodies who are clearly people who have just like been trying to make it.
Yeah.
And it's just like they're irradiated and they're sick and they die where they're at. And that's and there's little things too that were like the rebuilding phase. There's still a lot of optimism surrounding the rebuilding in this game, where it's like it's only 25 years after. A lot of these people who are alive, who you talk to, and this is something more inherent that you just feel as you're playing, but like a lot of the people you talk to would remember pre-war
they
life,
have memories
and
about
they still have aspirations to rebuild it in that image. So there's this very much like darkly optimistic tone to this game that is truly, if you've played any other Fallout game, unwarranted. 200 years later, and we have not gotten our shit together.
But here's the thing: it's not been too long yet.
No,
people. It's still like
people are still hopeful that they can
rebuilding. Because of course it's gonna take time. But you're not even like a full generation away.
Yeah,
maybe like one, but
anyway, so that's kind of the main driving force in the game. That's thing number one, is the environment. Thing number two that keeps me playing this game
with the gameplay
is the gameplay loop, the rewarding gameplay loop.
Yeah, dude.
It just keeps you coming back for more, and this is something that wasn't always part of the game. Point number one, always been part of this game. This map's always been fun to explore. Even when it was a little more dead, you still had a lot of environmental storytelling and little scenes that you'd stumble across.
Bethesda's good at doing that. Not Bethesda.
They're excellent at doing that. They're great. Bethesda's
whoever's
great
working on it, the devs.
And the Fallout team has always been great at that, and they knocked it out of the park here. Number two is something that they've added over time, and that is just the gameplay loop, the MMO of it all, with the dailies and the scoreboard.
Yeah, dude.
Shit that I should hate, that in other games I do hate.
Yeah.
It just is implemented a little bit better here.
Because
it's just a little more rewarding, a little less gambly, a little more fun.
Do you know what it is? It plays into the community aspect of it, of like the building the routine, and the also like the role play of like the life sim again.
Yeah.
Where you're like, if I was in the wasteland, this is my job today, is to go do my dailies, to get these things, to gather these resources, to have these things, to get interesting rewards so I can decorate my camp more.
Yeah, you get a lot of like camp plans through the season rewards, and you get a lot of
and they do a good job like making the seasons unique and like bringing interesting rewards in, and something that they've been doing a lot, like if you're into building at all, and because this is a survival game as well, like you have to collect resource. Something that they've been adding in is like resource collectors in your camp, and it's creating like more interaction, which I really like as somebody who loves the building aspect of this game.
Yeah,
like that's the thing that probably scratches an itch for me the most. But yeah, the gameplay. I think it's just something that like it helps you build it. It inherently builds routine.
Yeah.
For like, it's like you have to build routine for this in your life if you're a player, and that's a very clever thing to do.
But games that typically do that, like people are miserable to play, and people like it becomes such a creature of habit. I feel like it's not a labor for me to play this game.
No,
even
it's because this game is chaotic enough.
We have to get to the carrot and the stick of this whole gameplay thing, which is just the state of this game, which we will get to in a minute. But I want to keep getting the good things about the gameplay out of the way.
Because
there are things I like a lot about this game that keep me playing it, and have kept me playing it now every day for a solid year.
Yeah.
And I think number 3, if number 2 is the rewards, the event site system that has been put in place, the bounties, the legendaries. There's always something to get in the gameplay.
Yeah, dude.
The third thing is that moment-to-moment role play, and I'm going to count the building system as part of that, and the camp system as part of that.
Yeah.
There is so much opportunity in this game to personalize your experience and who you are and how you interact with fellow wastelanders and fellow vault dwellers and everybody you come across.
It's
that
awesome.
is just unique to this game that you do not find in other MMOs, really, because this is such a major branded IP that people are so used to existing in a certain way. And it's like, it feels a little naughty sometimes when you're like dressed like a milkman and I'm like running through this world and I'm like, this feels crazy.
I do love it because it really allows you to explore the most like unhinged.
Yeah.
But the thing is, unhinged is so welcome in this world.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of goes into, again, one of my favorite parts of like this, the reason I love Fallout 76 is the community.
Yeah.
And it's the people who play it.
Yeah, let's chat about that because this is
that's kind of like gameplay
that separates this. Yeah, this is the thing that separates this from any other game in this franchise. This is the one game in Fallout history where you play online with another player, officially supported since launch, and it fundamentally not only does it change the story of this game, it changes the gameplay as well.
Literally how you approach it. And there's something about this game that feels very it's like it's for the neurodivergents in a way.
Yeah, man.
Like I'm a part of a handful of like different groups. There's like WOTW, which is like Women of the Wasteland. It's a group on Facebook. Boo Facebook, but grateful for community. And but it's I love being a part of it and seeing like why people play this game. And it's nice to be like, oh, other people are playing this game in the way that I play this game.
Yeah.
Because it is allowing a cathartic experience for me to like move through the difficulties of day to day. But I love it because the community is very endearing.
Yes.
People in this community, I really love the building part of this game. So you knew I was gonna love the building of it because I've always been like, I'm in like let me build a house, and this is more like I'm not just playing The Sims building a house. I'm like
building a house in the waste.
I'm building a fort. I'm building like my dream, like
a
little
stronghold,
like little like fucking. It's the Lost Boys in Neverland kind of thing, right? Like it's that energy. So it's like it's inherently already a little creative and a little wicked.
Other players just get to stumble upon your camp
then they get to like come in and see
and buy things from your vendor.
Well, because there's the vendor aspect, so you can sell things. So there's so much to this game, and like you could play this game solely to be like, I'm just running a shop in the wasteland. Something I love doing.
You know, I'm having a revelation now about something that it might be about Bethesda is that there's this adage where they say that their games are as wide as an ocean but as deep as a puddle. Meaning, there's a lot to do in these games, but the systems only go down a certain degree.
Yeah.
The one game that's an exception to that rule, kind of Fallout 3 to a degree, and New Vegas because it wasn't made by Bethesda. Now, I think Fallout 76, what part of the charm for this game is Bethesda. This is Bethesda acknowledging that this is true. Our games are as wide as an ocean, but yeah, sometimes they couldn't be as deep as they go. So why don't we just make that ocean as wide as we fucking can, as long as everything is good and only kind of broken.
Because here's the thing. One of the reasons the community we love to hate this game and hate to love it.
Yeah.
Because it is so glitchy. It is so buggy.
Womp womp. Let's get to it.
Crazy shit happens in this game all the fucking time.
Fallout has always been known for needing a fan patch just to play on most modern PCs. It's just how it's always been. The Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 are pretty much unplayable without fan patches to get the game working and mods.
That's crazy.
Fallout 76 was always going to be behind the 8 ball in this aspect. And the fact that they're making it online means there's essentially no modding community because you can't change the game's scripting because it's online. You can't. That would be considered cheating, and a lot of anti-cheats would flag that. Blah, 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 blah.
How would
Nerdy
you?
shit. So the game is unmoddable. So Bethesda needed to bring their A game. They didn't. In 2018, when this game launched, this game was a fucking unplayable disaster. It was amazing that this game made it to retail in the shape that it was in. It was really bad. And instead of giving up, and we mentioned this before we went on the air, in an era where games just get taken out back and shot if they don't do well within weeks. Look at what happened with Concord for the PS4 last year. That game was put to pasture, and within 6 weeks, the servers were shut down.
That's
fact
so
that Bethesda
fast.
Didn't give up on this game, but they put their heads down and they worked as hard as they did to get the game into the state that it's even in. I want to preface everything I'm about to say by saying that is a very commendable act. The fact that this game is not only still online, but it's thriving and it's having its highest player counts ever. Huge respect to Bethesda for even keeping this game going, but getting into a respectable enough state where it's full of enough content and things to do. Free content update after free content update. That matters to the consumer. That makes it so Callie and I are willing to empty our pockets into Fallout first for 6 months straight.
That's how you build a supportive community and like customer base. Because ultimately, we can also get into that. Yeah. That this game does a lot of like the accessibility of this game and the things that make this game fun are behind a paywall. Yes. It's not the biggest paywall in the world.
But it's a paywall.
But it is a paywall. And I will tell you, as somebody who...
I'm rolling up my sleeves because this is where the review about it's probably get a little dark.
Yeah. Well, do we want to rate the gameplay?
No, because what we still have to say still has to do with gameplay.
See, this is going to be a long episode. At some point, we're probably going to take an intermission so I can go to the bathroom.
No worries. We're already 40 minutes into this episode.
Good for us.
This is going to be the longest SwitchCraft episode ever.
We knew
There's so much to this game.
There's so much to this
game. And we've been talking about gameplay for a while now. And this is a first-person shooter RPG. We've kind of gotten into it. You shoot, you kill, you work your way up the ladder. We've kind of talked about the quest structure where you help there's this vault heist you go on, and you're helping bring the gold reserves back, and you're helping rebuild Appalachia.
Well, and you are leveling up, and you are getting better weapons, you're getting better
armor,
the metagame,
you're becoming more if you are a metagame enjoyer, this is the game for you because you can do builds that are asinine in this game.
Fucking batshit.
You see level 1,000 players who will have
these... They have a gun that shoots once and it just obliterates a level 3 like legendary, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
So if you're a fan of that, and I will play the metagame to an extent where I will take my brain bombs. I will have my herbivore serums and my egghead serums, and I will eat my relish. Mm-hmm. There's so much you can do to buff your character and I'll max your special stats. It's incredible.
You can metagame and enjoy it, or you can still play a little more passively and still get achievements to make this game feel playable. I want to say that.
Even the small amount of character max building that I'm doing is very surface level. Again,
compared,
it's not as deep as an ocean. It's not as deep as some other games. But what's there is
you can exploit it though.
To exploit and to experiment with and have fun with.
Yes.
Now.
To have fun with.
It is time to get a little grim because there are just realities to this game that I would be a hypocritical fool to not talk about, as this is a game that I enjoy. This is still a game that I have a lot of qualms with. We've kind of gone over some of them, the glitches at launch, that a lot of them are still there. I could make a list of things that every day I deal with in this game that are annoyances that I just brush off because I want to explore the world. You talk about getting stuck in your power armor getting stuck in the fucking ground when you're walking around, the character constantly rubber banding back and forth.
That's been a newer glitch, especially since the Burning Springs update. Yeah. That's been so prevalent. It is the trippiest shit, especially if you are a little toasted.
Yeah, man.
And you are locked in, and suddenly you rubber band back to the top of the cliff that you just jumped off in your power armor. I'm like, what?
And we can kind of talk about the financial aspect of this game. Also, every time there's a new update, something breaks. People's builds are breaking all the time.
All the time.
People's weapons aren't working. Certain weapons will break. There was in this newest Burning Springs update, there was a new agua, which is a type of giant turtle monster. It's fucking awesome.
It's the
creature
agua.
Design in this game is incredible. It is a cryptid-based mashup of monsters and Fallout creatures we've known and loved and new things. It's perfect.
I will say, like, that kind of is like storyline. I love the cryptid, like,
some of them are
aspect of this
man-made,
game.
some of them are just mysterious.
Because I am such a cryptid
the
girl.
Mothman
in real
is
life.
a big fixture in the game.
Dude,
There's a
and
whole
like
cult devoted to the Mothman.
Well, and here's the thing: there's already a cult devoted to the Mothman. So like when
Yeah.
you're like bringing that kind of lore into a game, that's the kind of lore that I'm like jumping for joy about.
So there's a lot of that, which is great. And then you get to the parts of the game that are just a little uglier. Ray already talked about the glitches, the bugs. Every update breaks something. The Agua, to get back to that, the bleached Agua, I don't know exactly how to say it. He has this area attack that he would do that was really devastating, and it would do a lot of damage to people around him. It was so devastating, it was hurting people's camps on the other side of the fucking Ohio River. Instead of fixing it, Bethesda just disabled the attack and said, we'll deal with it later.
Oh my
and
gosh.
And I'm not
When
blaming,
is later,
and I want to
game?
make it clear. I'm not blaming the developers of this game for the state this game is in. I can empathize with them because their backs must be against a wall of spikes, and there's another wall of spikes coming forward, and that is corporate management. I cannot imagine.
Especially because they are owned by the number one big bad.
They are now under the Microsoft umbrella as of 2022.
And also, they just had there's a huge resurgence of interest in Fallout because the Fallout TV show has been a huge success. Rightly so. We have not watched all of it yet. We're like halfway through the first season, and it's fucking awesome. First off, if you have not watched it yet, for sure do. But if you're a Fallout fan, the odds are you have. It's worth it. But because of it, because it's has been such a success, they have put all the fucking eggs in the Fallout 76 basket.
To the point where they are ham-boning.
Where they're ham-boning in the ghoul from the show.
It
and
is
to be
tacky,
fair,
it's stupid. It is just really had this ghoul that as far as we know is from California, goes through the nukes, and now he's in Ohio.
Who knows?
25 years after the bombs.
But here's the thing, remember how you talked about it's an ocean of things, but it's not very deep? Like, this is one of those moments. But the thing is, there's going back to just like the eyes and how Microsoft I think is fucking up. Because suddenly there are so many more eyes on this series and on this game because you decided to put the fucking ghoul from the series in this game. There's so many eyes on it and potential. You and I have been playing since like the holiday season, and the number of like new players
has been astounding.
Who have probably
so
who got this game for Christmas, or maybe they like finally bought it with whatever. Like it's really awesome to be seeing. But the thing is, they have an opportunity to be really like putting a lot of energy, and they should be putting capital into this game.
Yes, more than they are.
Way more than they are, and they don't fucking care enough.
They have a next then, for the fact that this game isn't even optimized for current PCs and current gen consoles, this is still a game optimized for rigs like you're running, which is great, and the game will always be optimized for those.
My computer is now a Fallout 76 only computer.
But the fact that there's been no other further optimizations. Again, we did commend them for the amount of free content they've given us, but a lot of that free content only goes so far. A lot of the story content leaves a lot to be desired in these.
When I have these feelings about it, it's more of I don't understand why they're not maybe willing to invest the money in the labor that it requires to optimize this game. It seems like
they were just unprepared for everything. The day the Burning Springs update
That's Microsoft's
dropped,
entire MO these days.
This was one of the biggest spicy. This was a spicy thing that happened to them. The day the Burning Springs update dropped, the servers went offline for almost a full 24 hours.
Dude, I was seeing people in the Women Wasteland group
were
like,
I took the day off work.
They're like, I took off PT. I'm taking PTO
and they
to play this game today, and they couldn't even. And I was heartbroken for them.
Again,
and to be fair,
don't put your eggs in any Bethesda basket ever.
And it's not necessarily. It's not on anybody. It's technology, and we know the game, so we should anticipate it. But nonetheless, that should be something that it's important to keep your fan base happy.
Yes,
it's important to keep the whales happy.
Yes,
and those are the things that you need to invest your time and energy and labor in.
Yes, because these people are putting so much of their time and their labor and their money into this game, which brings me to my last major red flag on Fallout 76. This is not a free-to-play game. This is a retail game. You can get it for very cheap. I understand it's on sale for like $5 right now on Steam.
But
I'm going to recommend, spoiler alert, I'm recommending this game at the end of this review. If it's $5 buy the game. It's worth it. That being said, Fallout First is very problematic in my opinion for a game that's already a full retail game.
Explain what Fallout First is.
So Fallout First, it's not uncommon for MMOs to have subscription plans for high-level players or people who just want to play the game a lot. You look back Club Penguin, Neopets, any MMO, World of Warcraft,
Neopets.
Any. I don't know if they have subscriptions. They might.
I don't think they did not. They
had
maybe
just
now they're bringing it back.
They are, but Fallout 76 has Fallout First. Now, like I said, Fallout is already a game you have to buy. There is already a barrier of entry. A lot of MMOs will be either free to play or you pay for expansions, like with World of Warcraft, and then you pay your monthly fee. No, you buy the game, and out of the box, if you are planning on playing this game a lot, and you do not plan on getting a Fallout First subscription, your time in the game will be less enjoyable.
It really
by
will.
a considerable margin.
And that's
I can acknowledge how problematic, how grimy, how shitty, and how scummy that is. And this predates the Microsoft acquisition, by the way. They had the balls to introduce Fallout First to this game when it was at its lowest point. After the fucking mold bag scandal.
King.
After the Nuka Dark rum scandal had happened. I'm reaching way back in the 2019 pocket for this. They introduced Fallout First when people already hated this game.
That's so dumb.
That being said, it probably saved this game because people have always subscribed to it. Here's what you get for subscribing to Fallout First.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention it in things that I think are least to most impactful. Least to most impactful. You get extra items on your scoreboard. You get extra items just for free every once in a while. You get a free item no matter what in the game.
That includes like a scrap kit,
supply
a kit,
lunchbox, something.
These are all like XP and like things to utilize in the game.
Sometimes you get an extra item, and then in the season mode, there's a lot of extras. Think Battle Pass in Fortnite. You get so many things for free for the game you've already paid for. In Fortnite, it is free, but if you want to buy the Battle Pass, you get all the cool shit. Now, Fallout, to their credit, they do give a lot of the cool stuff out to free players, with two exceptions that I have a huge issue with. Number one, I ranted about this on our stream yesterday, if anyone was watching that. The scrap box.
Yeah.
You have 1,200 pounds in your stash box to work with. It will go
fast,
incredibly quickly.
That shit goes fast.
And it's also worth noting you have no food quality buffs and you have no weight buffs in your stash.
I was gonna say,
at all.
well, and things weigh more in your stash than they do when they're on your person.
Yes, because you are going to max your weight capacity down as far as you can on your character, and things are heavy, and there is no way. Maybe there is to do your stash, but other than that, you get Fallout First introduced the scrap box, which is a way to basically give you unlimited junk to scrap.
Because in this game, it's a resource. Because it's resource management.
Very much resource management.
And if you are, and obviously you're collecting a lot.
Yeah.
And you need to store it somewhere. And if you don't have Fallout First, you have to store all of your resources in your stash box,
and
which
if you're
includes
you're fucked.
Anything else you want to store. Yeah. And that takes up so much room.
Can I tell you something? When the game first launched, can you guess what the storage? You might remember because you've probably seen it.
Was it like 60?
It was 400 pounds.
I said 60 was crazy. So I went 60.
400, which is not as much as my character currently has on him. Let alone
crazy,
in my stash.
dude.
So they've upped it a bunch of times. It's still not enough. Charging for a scrap box is ludicrous. It is
ludicrous speed.
It's doing that classic thing that these fucking AAA games do by these big greedy developers that they are so good at, where they create a problem and they sell you the fucking solution. And that is all this company is doing
health insurance
with the scrap box. All they are doing is creating a problem.
Yeah.
They are artificially making your scrap weight an issue, and they are selling you a fix to it. And I have a problem with that to its core. Next thing you get after the scrap box and the goodies are access to private servers. I will defend this one. That's why I saved it to last. I defended it yesterday in my stream as well. Private servers, that comes with cost, upkeep, maintenance. Running a server just for you and your friends is a big enough commitment that I'm fine with charging.
And in my opinion, you're using resource.
And I will also go on record saying I'm fine with charging the Fallout First rates for the extra items. I hate it. I think it's shitty. It creates a class system in your game that I don't think needs to exist.
Yeah,
but whatever. The things you get are ultimately decent, except
you could argue it's just a reflection of the game. So
there's also now the medical scrap box, which is only for Fallout First members.
Same with the ammo scrap, right?
Yes.
Or the ammo storage.
The ammo storage as well. Thank you for reminding me of that.
You're welcome.
So those are 3 ways that you can store the things that you need to store the most in this game that are paywalled.
Add up.
That is
weight-wise.
fucking bullshit. For something that doesn't cost this company any extra money, it is terrible customer relations. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it is just indicative of what is going on in the AAA games industry. It is a rotting husk of an industry, and unfortunately, even our favorite games are subject to it.
They're subject. Well, they were always going to be.
I
because
had to just bring it up. There are
of
terrible
course.
monetization practices. That doesn't even get into scrap kits that you can pay for, which are basically just free weapon upgrades and fixes for your armor and weapons that they decided to make break, and now they sell you the solution to that. They do give you those in it's big quantities.
It's definitely one of those games that
they didn't.
You could ultimately like cheat your way around in a lot of ways. Like you can buy your way to level up a lot.
Yes.
Like you can't
This
do that.
is essentially
You don't have to play the game if you had the money. But that also
Thankfully-
takes the joy away.
Thankfully, though, this game is not a PvP first experience. You can engage in PvP, but almost no player does it.
Yeah.
This is a PvE experience. So the fact that it is a little bit pay to win, a lot pay to win, you can just pay to run your way up to level 100 on the scoreboard if you want to.
Yeah, you sure can.
In the seasonal scores that do every 3 to 4 months.
But you know what I also think is interesting? Kind of going back to that. So you can pay to do it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think though a lot of like the people who keep this game going, the whales, like they're not the people that have a ton of money and resource to put into it. Because one of the reasons I love this game, and I want to say it, is because it gives me a daily hobby.
It doesn't cost you.
That does not cost me an arm and a fucking leg. It's like an
the only investment we have daily is our Fallout First, which is it's like $2 a day. Not even.
It's cents a day.
Cents a day.
You know what I mean? And it's one of those I see it as a quality of life thing because this is a hobby that I utilize to help enrich my life in a way because if people have listened to SwitchCraft before and listened to me talk about video games, I see a deep value in them as like for working your brain. Like there's such value in video games because they are art, and I'm like, this is a hobby where I get to have fun and also work my brain in different ways, and I can also scratch a lot of different itches. So it's like I choose to invest in myself, in us, in this. And most people, I think, that are the reason this game is successful, do it in that way.
I think they do make a lot of their money from Fallout First, I imagine. It seems like
at least a chunk.
Almost any camp you come across will have an ammo box, will have a scrap kit.
It is clear that a lot of people the core group of people who play this game regularly are probably, it's just very obvious.
So just keep in mind, if you are planning to jump into this game and you have a problem with spending in games, and that's something maybe you have an issue with, this might be a game you want to steer away from.
But also, however, as people that have feelings about that, you and I
both Fallout First
subscribers,
and
because it scratches an itch that I need fucking scratch.
The only loot boxes in the game are holiday gifts and other random gifts that you get. You can't buy. There's no gambling mechanic, really.
No.
You can't really buy your way to do things like that. It's not as bad as some other games. I just had to go on my soapbox for a minute.
Please.
Put it out there.
Here's the thing.
It's worth saying.
Especially right now, the video game industry is in a very interesting place.
Very tricky spot.
Breaking
in money hand over foot, but that money is going to become harder to come by.
And also, they are not investing the money in the actual creative aspect. They're not investing the money in the correct place.
No, it's all greed.
It's all greed because, like, I'm not even going to talk. We're not going to get into AI too much right now because that's its own entire thing.
Like, fuck Microsoft for having AI art on Fallout products that are being sold in Target. Scum fuck move by that company. I'm sure that was a Microsoft decision coming down on ZeniMax. Or ZeniMax. They're also scumbags at ZeniMax, too.
We have to reject AI
there are
created,
parent companies
like,
within
art.
parent companies.
We have
these
to.
days.
AI can be used. Like AI is here, and we need to utilize it. We can utilize it in very smart ways to help make quality of life better for people.
Artists.
But that is not the point of it.
What do you give?
Art is inherently human.
What do you give in the gameplay of Fallout 76? We were talking for a considerable amount of time.
Whatever.
We didn't really get into the nuts and bolts about it that much. We didn't talk about claiming workshops and how you can farm resources that way, but that is a chance for PvP. We talked about the events. They're seasonal events. They're goofy. They're fun. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5, and I'm not going to point off of it because of the Fallout First and the financial practices and the buggy nature of this game.
But I think that's fair because the shooting the guns is fun, collecting the things are fun.
That usually works.
Existing in the game is fun. It's a vibe, and like building, it's fun to play. It's fun to be sneaking around and shooting super mutants and Scorched in this game.
That brings us to everybody's favorite segment. I get fan letters still to this day about Callie's Corner, which is going to become something else.
It's
by the
me.
way.
I'm writing the letter. But just be like, bring it back.
This is the segment where we rate, pick up, and play. as a newer TM gamer, Callie.
TM.
This is your chance to get on a soapbox now. And
Thank you.
As somebody who is newer to games, this is an interesting category for you for this game because you are newer to games, whereas you've only been playing them your adult life. This you are not.
I had like when I was a kid, there was like a cycle of games. Like I was a sim girl.
Yeah.
The thing I played more games on the PC as a kid
a PC gamer.
than anything else.
So this is an interesting category for you because you also have, before even starting Fallout 76, had almost 30 hours, 40 hours of Fallout experience coming into this game. So that being said, welcome to Callie's Corner here in SwitchCraft.
CC.
Callie,
yes.
For pick up and play rating, how does this game stack up to some of the other ones out there?
Okay. So I think I had a little bit of a leg up simply because I had played the other Fallout games. So I had an understanding of how I was going to play. But I will say this game is a lot easier to pick up and play than the other Fallout games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give this like a solid, maybe like I want to say a 3. But I also do recognize that the Fallout games are not like a very passive gaming.
No, they're not meant to be.
They're not meant to be. This is for like people who are like, I am interested
Don't
in like
go into
deep
this
diving.
expecting a cozy game.
No cozy game here. This is. Can I tell you one of the reasons it's taken me a long time? Like I made a conscious choice to be like, challenge yourself and try to like get good at a game.
And I thought Fallout would be a good series.
And you were right. And this game it's approachable enough to where it doesn't feel as high stakes as the other games, and it's a lot like more sit back.
Once you get to
level
30 to 50, 60 range, you kind of start to get pretty comfortable.
Well, things feel a little more manageable, and then like now I know I can survive. I'm running around like
you can play the game with your eyes closed.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We love it. Sometimes I do, but that's because I accidentally fall asleep. No, I don't know if I've fallen asleep playing the game yet.
So you're thinking like a 3 on pick up and play?
I'm thinking that I think so. At least like because I think of myself in terms of like my literal like my motor functions, because that's like one of the things that I was really thinking about when we came up with this category ages ago.
Yeah.
And I think so, because for the most part, I mean, we're playing on the PC. We moved beyond just the Switch.
Yes.
And I find PC gaming easier.
Yes.
Because you can be a little more like
Keyboard
very
and mouse
specific with your.
The
mouse is my favorite. I love a mouse.
And we did kind of break the rules last time with Outer Worlds because
we did play that on the computer.
I scheduled for us. I had it with intention.
Wow. And it didn't even. Sometimes you don't even need to know. It's all the subconscious. But yeah. So yeah, let's leave it there and we move on, because like Callie's Corner, I'm not gonna harp too much about it because we've been harping a lot.
Yeah. I think there are certain things, just to add a couple little caveats before we move on to visuals and art design. This game has that classic Fallout. The first 5 hours of this game are going to be a little bit tough. You have to have patience to make it through a Fallout game. It is more approachable than a Fallout 4 or a Fallout, especially New Vegas or 3, where like the first few hours of those games, you might die 100 times. You are going to have your bearings a little bit beneath you. So I think this is a fair score. That's going to bring us. We are rounding out, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. We've been doing this for an hour already. We have been yapping in your
We
ears
knew
about
that it
this
was.
game.
I would be lying if I said I didn't know this was probably going to happen.
That brings us to maybe the least controversial 2 categories, which somehow is hard to believe. But that brings us to visuals and art design, and then we'll transition to voiceover, sound effects, and music. Visuals and art design first. Game kind of looks booty, but it kind of looks beautiful. It's an enigma.
Booty but beautiful.
Booty is beautiful. Booty
is beautiful. But I think it's one of those things that going into it, if you're a fan of the Fallout series in general, it's what you expect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It looks like Fallout 4.
And it has the charm the Fallout series has. And part of that charm is it's not very like polished.
No, it feels like it's held together with duct tape.
It sure fucking does.
You turn your character too much and you're like, oh yeah, I'm in a game.
Yeah, you'll be like, I broke it. I'll be like, that tree's no longer a tree. It's now bright green.
Some trees are just floating in the air.
Sometimes, yeah.
They'll fall
so like
through the map.
So but that's part of the charm.
Part of the charm.
It's part of the thing that we love to. We hate to love it, right? Yes. And love to hate it. So I don't think it's necessarily. It's not anything to write super home about, but also at the same time, it's beautiful. They have moments like the lighting
and
the way that
the
sun comes through the trees.
For all intents and purposes, it seems like they're working with a game engine that was designed primarily around the PS3 and PS4 era. So
and that was a long time ago in regards to like
3
technology.
console generations ago now coming up on. So that being said, the engines that they're working with are so limited, But they've proven before, it's all about how far you're pushing your graphics. It's what you do with the engine you have. And this game does have some really fun art design. I will say it's when you think retrofuturism and you think of like the post-nuclear American mid-century design, Fallout is one of the first video game franchises you're going to think of because it just nails the aesthetic, the feel, and the vibe of that period.
They took the
but with
it's like the Walt Disney. It's the Walt Disney
it's like
Utopia.
The Epcot image. Yeah.
It's the Epcot image. And can I tell you,
they're covered in shit and fire.
And that scratches a very specific
awesome.
itch for me because I have a lot of nostalgic. Well, I just like that futuristic vibe. I don't know. It's interesting. It's liminal, and there's something about the liminal energy that I dig. And also, it plays into the fashy energy of Mr. Handy. Everybody had a Mr. Handy.
Yeah, man.
Everybody's kitchen looked the exact fucking same. So when you're running around the wasteland, they only have 3 different kinds of trash cans.
Yeah, there's
maybe
4 corporations that control everything.
Everything.
Basically.
So, which is our current our current entire American system. But it's just so funny because that's obvious, but that's part of the charm.
Yeah, there's burnt out Corvegas and burnt out Chrysluses and old cars that are just. They have that mid-century
so fucking
aesthetic,
awesome.
but maybe they have 3 wheels, or maybe there's something.
And I also
cockpit.
just like the mid-century
It's
modern aesthetic. I've always
saturation
loved it.
in this game. They turned up the saturation now to 100. It looks great. It's
10
very
out of 10.
colorful. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. I think.
Yeah, let's go.
I know that's gonna be a controversial take.
Yeah, but but here's the thing: you have to take the design and it's about the product as a whole.
And I'm also kind of counting a lot of the game's performance issues as gameplay problems rather than visuals and art design.
Yeah, because
it's not the art design's fault that the game runs the same as it does on my rig as it does on yours.
I was like, that's
which is
more
a
of
10-year gap between.
I was
when
like,
these
that's
rigs
like
were
a behind
made.
the scenes thing.
Yeah, the
right?
game is just not optimized well. That's a development time pipeline game engine issue more than anything else. The visuals
do they
themselves
not have
are wonderful.
The resources to invest in
they have
figuring that
resources.
out? I know.
That brings us to our final category before we are going to rate this game out of 5 and put it on the master list. Spoiler alert, we already did that.
Wait, not master list. Main list?
Main list.
We're trying to move away from the word master.
Oh, we can't use master anymore?
I know.
Main list. Okay, that being said, voiceover, sound effects, and music. It's awesome. I mean, come on. The voice acting's fine. There's not a ton of it in the game.
My personal favorite are all of the secondary characters, like the super mutants that are always like, no! And they're like, what was that? It's like, it's so bad, it's good, it's so good, it's bad.
Yeah, man, that's great. And
the dichotomy is real.
Since they've added them to the game, they'll talk to each other, like in Highway Town and the new settlement in Burning Springs. They'll just be having conversations with each other. They'll be chatting. They'll be shooting the breeze.
That's fun. Also, it is funny to tune into the NPCs because every once in a while I'll be like, that's just what an NPC.
Yeah, man.
They'll say things where I'll be like, that's an AI.
Yeah, that's just your life right there.
This is an AI. This person's life cycle is living in Highway Town.
The game music, the sound effects are great. The guns sound awesome.
Yeah.
Everything sounds nice and it's fine. It's all fine. It's all industry standard, I would say.
Yeah, of
nothing
course.
Special, nothing bad. It's got the Fallout flavor to it.
They have when you talk about music.
Yeah,
in game they have the radio stations.
Yeah, the game soundtrack is beautiful.
It's awesome.
Good orchestral score. The game, like you said, if you want to put the Pip-Boy on, there's several radio stations. You can listen to classical. You can listen to
Appalachia Radio,
which is your classic mid-century Fallout folk and pop music.
Dude,
from
it's
the era
great,
from the
dude.
50s and 40s and around that time. And then
the vibe fits perfectly.
There's also pirate radio in this game, which is like a super mutant and I think an alien maybe or a ghoul doing telenovelas, like they're doing radio plays with each other.
So epic.
It's very funny, and that is very well voice acted.
Dude,
just some classic Fallout voice actors. I'm sure it seems like they're using the same talent for every game.
For sure.
You get used to hearing these same voices. I guess I'll say a 4.
Yeah, I'm fine.
On voice
That's
sound effects and music.
Yeah, I'm chill with that.
It's more Fallout. The music's always fun.
It's good. I'm not. It's not like I'm not. They're not winning Grammys.
No, I will say
not like
the
Halo.
playlists have shrunk over the years. They've had some songs being removed, and some songs have changed. And I do think they could do with a little more music as far as licensed songs.
Yeah,
I understand it's expensive to license music, but again, this is a billion-dollar corporation we're talking about. You will hear a lot of the same songs.
We could enhance the quality of play
over and over and over and over again a little bit. That's like maybe where I'll knock that a little bit. But the songs are perfect. You'll be running through the wasteland and you'll hear, don't they know it's the end of the world. It'll come on at the perfect time as you're coming over a hill as the sun's coming up on the wasteland. 4 out of 5. That brings us, y'all, thanks for sticking with us. It's time to kind of sum up our thoughts on what is a game that I have clearly a complicated history, complicated feelings about. We're gonna have to rank this game out of 5 total stars here. What do you think? Closing thoughts. Fallout 76. Where are you at with it? Are we streaming it tonight?
Oh yeah, I was already about to be like, we'll probably be playing it here in a little bit.
In a little bit, yeah.
Okay, my final thoughts. This game is not the best game by any means. It is. I'm not going to Fallout 76 because it's giving me like the story arc of like Celeste. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to it because of that. I play Fallout 76 because it is scratching an itch that I need itched on a very regular basis.
Yes.
Like I said, it's a game I love because it has become routine.
Yeah.
It's a game I love because it helps provide me with a place to feel a sense. I feel like I'm a part of the community.
Yeah.
That's a huge reason I think I love this game.
Yeah.
Is because of that. Where I'm like, I feel like I get to just step away from everything and be a part of this world where everybody is living a version of themselves.
Right.
It's campy. I love how campy this game is. It's draggy. I love how draggy it is. And so like on close to my heart, like it is going to hold, it's going to have a very close place to my heart. As far as the game goes, probably like a 3, 3.5. Because I'm gonna say
3.5 out of 5, and I have similar energy to you. I'm gonna say 3.5. Similar energy to you, where I will go on soapboxes about this game, and this is a company that I will go on soapboxes about often, and I will not defend.
Can I tell you something? You need to, because this is a company that does have to be held accountable.
Yes, and I will continue.
Because they showed that they cannot hold themselves accountable.
To do that. But I would be lying to you if I said this is not a very important game to me. This is not a game that I will continue to play and spend time on willingly. A game that I choose to enjoy.
Yes.
And that is
it's
at
the choice.
End of the day, this is a game that I continue to choose to play, and I continue to choose to have fun playing.
Yeah, dude.
Despite the game sometimes trying its best to take its hooks it has in me and take them out, it keeps them in.
The number of times I see people being like, I think I'm done this time.
It has such
but you never leave.
It's so confounding, and it is such an enigma, this game.
Yeah.
I am recommending this game to you.
Yes.
Without a second thought. I will recommend this game to anybody who has a slight interest in MMOs, first-person shooters, RPGs, Fallout, goofy shit.
Especially
camp building.
If you are somebody like, because I'm not interested in playing like Call of Duty.
No.
I'm not interested in playing a lot of these like online, like, oh my God.
So fuck that
like,
game.
what the fuck?
Fuck Activision.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Fuck Microsoft.
Yes. But back to Fallout, there's something about, like, I'm not going to be playing those other like online shooter games, and like it's important to have a place to put that energy.
Yeah.
This game gives me what that game is giving people, and it scratches that itch because I get to go run around shooting ghouls.
And I will say, there are segments of this game we never even brought up.
No!
Raids, for example,
Oh!
are something, if you want to play this game as a more serious first-person shooter, I don't recommend playing the game that way.
No, but like,
if
you can.
Want to, there are raids there for that, and that's how you see a lot of really people high level up.
Yeah, you get level like 3,000s, and you're like,
yeah, they're raiding. And there's expeditions that you can earn stamps for certain. I do recommend expeditions. You can play those alone or with a partner or whatever. But at the end of the day, yeah, man, this is a game that has not pulled me away from it yet.
No.
This is a game that has only gotten better over the years. I think you'd be a fool to say anything different. This game has only become a net positive on what it was. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to keep seeing what it becomes. I am acknowledging that the game will someday probably fall apart. The player base will fracture. The game will go offline. And when that day comes, I'll be prepared. But that being said, I will recommend this game to almost any gamer out there. If you have a PC that can run it, try it out. But keep an open mind and an open heart.
Come to it. Come at this game.
I'm not happy to recommend this game necessarily. I wish I could. I wouldn't recommend this game to people, but I can't help it. It's a fun game, and I don't want to hurt the developers for what the corporate overlords force on this game.
No.
If we're just speaking for
I'm never speaking down to the worker.
Play Fallout 76 if you want. I'm going to keep playing it.
Me too.
I'm going to keep complaining about it, probably.
If you want to keep hearing us talk and complain about it, we're going to be doing that. Like, we'll be streaming plenty, and I mean, here on SwitchCraft, you'll hear us talk about Fallout. But like, if you're interested in more of that kind of content, we're gonna be making it, because right now we're interested in this world, like I said.
Yeah, man.
But also I'm like, if you're trying to get into a new hobby in video games, interest you, as somebody who was that person, like, we started this SwitchCraft like 3 years ago.
Yeah, just about. It was one of the first creative projects we dove into together.
And we do have plenty. But the thing is, like, I feel like I've been intentional in trying to get into gaming as a hobby, and this has been a good way for me to like take the next step. Yeah. I was like, I'd already like dipped my toes in, and now I'm like in the pool.
Yeah.
And I'm swimming, and I'm sitting on a floaty, and that floaty is
I think, yeah.
A ghoul floaty.
Try it with an open mind. If it's not for you, I get it. This game is not going to be for every Fallout fan, for every MMO fan.
Nah.
But if you are just looking for something a little goofy, a little campy, a little Fallout, and online, give 76 a chance. I will say, playing it with you, I have 2 worlds in this game. Playing it solo, which I played a lot. I played probably 100 hours solo.
I play on Zach's account, and I have a lot of really cool, like, OG
yeah,
items.
You play on my OG account.
that I get to, like, put out and, like, use people. And, and I can tell I get to flex a little bit.
But playing with you has been some of the best fun I've had playing a video game ever. It's so much fun playing the game when you have a person to play it with.
Yeah, dude.
Especially.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other aspect too. We didn't even talk about.
No, yeah. I was going to say, and if you're looking for community and to find people to play a game with, this is the community to do it.
They're largely non-toxic. Yep. They are largely happy to help.
Largely stick to themselves.
Largely
ultimately.
Happy to stick to themselves. Yeah.
And that, can I tell you, as somebody who likes to like exist within space, knowing that I'm like, energy's out there. I can feel the other people running around, but we're all staying in our lanes. Fucking love that shit, brother.
So we currently have our list of games that we have played and ranked together. We are going to add Fallout 76 to this list now, and after discussion, we discussed this earlier.
Yeah.
It is going to fit into our top 10. We have 23 games on this list, by the way. It is going to fit in at number 7, and it is going to fit after Tetris Effect Connected at number 6, and before Rayman Legends at number 8. I think that's fair. We ranked Rayman, Superliminal, and Outer Worlds, I think, higher than Fallout 76. We've not done an episode on Legends or Superliminal yet. I don't know if we will. Maybe someday. But that's where it sits. So it's number 7. And it's the game I've put the most hours into out of any other game on this list.
Me too, for sure.
More than Slay the Spire and Animal Crossing probably even at this
Which is
point.
impressive.
Because I put a lot of hours into both those games.
Ooh, man, me too. Slay the Spire has gotten me through some shit. So is Animal Crossing.
We will do an episode on Slay the Spire. That's a game I intend to do an episode on because that game... Once we beat it.
Yeah, dude,
we
for sure.
haven't beat it yet.
Yeah, dude. But no, I think this is fair. I like where this lands.
So it's in the top 10 for us.
There's so many games out there.
That being said, I've been Zach, and this has been Callie.
I have been Callie. That's me, yes.
We're really excited to be back with you guys. Give this video a share if you're still here. Give it a like. We're going to be primarily doing this video now, YouTube and Twitch. We're going to be posting the VODs. I'm going to be posting this episode pretty much unedited, uncut probably, onto YouTube with some other content that we're transferring from streams. We're just trying some new content. We're hitting it hard. We're really going to be trying to bring you guys stuff. I think we're going to be playing Dredge. That might be the next episode we have coming.
Yeah, dude, that'd be fun.
I think we're going to start looking for streams of that maybe the next few days even. Because I have everything ready to go on this PC. So until then...
Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year. It's
oh my
New
gosh.
Year's Eve.
It's New Year's Eve.
We will probably be with you shortly. Maybe we'll go have ourselves a little smoky smoke.
Oh, 1,010%.
And then maybe you'll see us on this Twitch channel playing some of the very game I just chastised for an hour. This is SwitchCraft. We love you guys all so much.
Love you.
We're excited to be back. Thank you so much.
Have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Drink water.